This one thing changes everything for the Rangers. It's been a busy offseason for the Blue Shirts, but could one of their off-the-ice acquisitions be the most important one yet? I break it down in just a moment on another sizzling edition of Rangers Digest. Welcome back to Rangers Digest. We are built for Blue Shirt fandom, and I am your host, Bret Botfeld. It is great to be back with you guys on this sunny Saturday, the 2nd of August. The weather here is just absolutely sensational, but we have a lot to get into here today, folks. But before we do that, a quick reminder that about 77% of you who currently watch these videos are still unsubscribed to the channel. So please hit that free subscribe button down below. It would be greatly appreciated so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. Not only that, guys, so you could be part of something special here at Rangers Digest. Let's waste no more time and hop right into today's video. So I was reading an article this morning on yahoosports.com. As you can see here, New York Rangers head coach Mike Sullivan had an incredible run with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sullivan coached the Penguins for 10 years and won 2 Stanley Cups in the process, cementing one of the greatest eras in Penguins history. Now I want to get into a quote from Sidney Crosby, one of the greatest to ever step foot on the ice, and here is what he had to say after Sullivan's firing. He did an amazing job over the last 10 years here with his preparation and commitment to winning. Personally, he pushed me to be better every day, and I learned a lot from him. We shared some great memories together, and I am grateful for his time here and everything he did for us. This is what Crosby told Josh Yeo of The Athletic. As you can see here, this is refreshing to see Crosby talking about that preparation and commitment to winning. The Rangers obviously lacked both this past season. They didn't seem prepared on a night-to-night basis. You saw Peter Laviolette lose his job over it. The commitment to winning simply wasn't good enough. The effort that you would expect from this group that was just coming off a President's Trophy win, 2 wins away from a Stanley Cup, the effort on a night-to-night basis just was not good enough at all by any standard. So bringing in Sullivan will certainly turn things around. And like I said, the captain Crosby saying this about his former coach is certainly great to see. In Pittsburgh, Sullivan brought out the best in many star players, including Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, and Jake Gensel. The reason I bring this up is because I hope and I believe that Sullivan will be able to develop current Rangers, including newly acquired Scott Morrow in that Keandre Miller deal from Carolina, and Alexis Lafrenière, former number 1 overall pick back in 2020. So I believe that Sullivan will be able to help develop these players. And now I want to get into Scott Morrow here and his statistics and what to expect and why Mike Sullivan will be able to develop him. All right, guys, as you can see here, 14 total games for Scott Morrow this past season. He had 6 points on 23 shots, 21 giveaways, 5 takeaways. He was a +4 in just about 16 minutes of ice time. As you can see here, he stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, just 22 years of age. Now, this is a player that is an effective and reliable 3-zone player. He's had success before the NHL. Let's not forget he was an AHL All-Star for the Chicago Wolves. He's got that offensive upside that you love to see. He has improved as a defender, and I believe that bringing in Sullivan will only enhance his abilities. Now, Scott Morrow, I was reading this article from ForeverBlueShirts.com, written by Ryan McGearney. He does an absolutely fantastic job, and he was comparing Morrow's path to Adam Fox's path. As you can see here, Morrow's path hasn't been identical to Fox's, but the production is on the same level. Over 3 years at the University of Massachusetts, he posted 94 points, 28 goals, 66 assists, and 109 games. He's second all-time in points by a defenseman in Minutemen history. Like I said, guys, I spoke about it. He's got that offensive skill set. Each made an immediate impact as a freshman. Fox finished with 40 points in his first season at Harvard, while Morrow broke out with 33 and became the first freshman in UMass history to earn first-team All-America honors. Guys, what's interesting about Fox and Morrow is they were both actually Carolina Hurricanes. Now, when it comes to Fox, he technically was, but what's interesting is he spent his entire career as a New York Ranger, but when he was drafted by the Calgary Flames, they actually traded his rights to the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, he never signed a deal with them, never played a game with them. He was traded to the Rangers and has spent his entire career here. But I just thought it'd be cool to mention that nugget there, that Adam Fox was technically a member of the Carolina Hurricanes, which is certainly interesting. But now getting back to Morrow, this is a player that not only I believe he has top 4 potential on this Rangers roster, but I truly believe that moving forward, he can quarterback that second power play unit. Obviously, Fox quarterbacks the first power play unit, but I truly believe that with his offensive skill set, he has the potential to do it. We've heard rumors about Braden Schneider taking on that role because of his offensive skill set, but no, I truly believe that Morrow is the option moving forward. I love how he's able to calmly control the puck, which is what you need from your quarterback on the power play unit. And like I said, he has been improving on the defensive end. It started his junior year at the University of Massachusetts. He's been getting better and better and better. Now what's interesting is if you take a look at this chart from Puckpedia, they have Scott Morrow slated in on that third pair, but they haven't paired with Braden Schneider. The best course of action, I believe, would be to put Schneider on that second line, pair him with Borgen, and not have Soucy paired with Morrow, but instead Matthew Robertson. I would create a kid line on the blue line, which would be interesting. You would have that defensive piece in Robertson. He's got that defensive structure, that big physical body that you'd be able to pair with Morrow, who's got that offensive skill set, could control the puck. I think that would be a fascinating line to watch this season for the Blue Shirts. But now I want to talk about Alexis Lafrenière, because Mike Sullivan did a great job of developing Jake Guentzel into the player he is today with Tampa. But Jake Guentzel has had the best years of his life under Sullivan. Let's not forget that 2021-2022 season. He's been an all-star. And this is a guy that Sullivan saw blossom right before his very eyes. The young forward, talking about Lafrenière, played his best hockey alongside Artemi Panarin and Vincent Trocheck. So if that line combination is used during the season, Lafreniere's comfort level will certainly be high. Guys, let's not forget, during the 2023-2024 season, where the Rangers won the President's Trophy, that line of Trocheck, Panarin, and Lafrenière was one of the most elite in the entire NHL. And even this past season, during a down year for the Rangers, a down year for Lafrenière, that line was still effective. In 60 games together, they outscored their opponents 36-28. Not only that, but Lafrenière was still effective in 5-on-5 play, which I'm about to get into here in a second. Another part of this equation is the newly hired Rangers head coach Mike Sullivan. Maybe fresh eyes behind the bench could help reignite Lafreniere's firepower and unleash his full potential. I truly believe that it will. Now, what Sullivan has to do is he has to utilize Lafrenière on the power play, because this is a player during a down year. He was still the second leading scorer on the Rangers at 5-on-5 play. So just trailing the Breadman. The Breadman was number 1. So if he was effective on even strength, that leads me to believe that with a man advantage, he will be effective as well. So I would love to see Sullivan utilize Lafrenière on that first power play unit. Not only that, but keep him on the line with Trocheck, with Panarin. Like I said, that was a dynamic line. I've also spoken about it in other videos. I'd like to see Mika Zibanejad pair with JT Miller, because that was a dynamic duo as well last season. But I'm curious and fascinated to hear what you guys think. Are you guys pumped up about the Mike Sullivan acquisition? Do you think he could get the best out of Scott Morrow? and Alexi Lafrenière, develop them into similar players the way he was able to Chris Letang and Jake Gensel. Not going to sit here, and say that Morrow is going to be the next Chris Letang or Lafrenière the next Jake Gensel, but I certainly believe that he will be able to get the best and utilize them to their, best strengths. Get the best out of these players. I really believe that Sullivan will be able to do that. He's got the resume. He's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion, 2016, 2017, and I'm just pumped up about the acquisition. But leave your comment down below. Also, give us a follow on X at Rangers Digest YT. Leave a comment over there. The conversation always continues over there and in the comment section. If you haven't hit that free subscribe button, hit that button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. We'll talk soon.